You keep saying life is too short. You say it after a terrible date, a mind-numbing meeting, or a cold cup of coffee. Here's the catch. You are treating that phrase like a bumper sticker instead of a blueprint. Life isn't actually too short. You are just wasting it on all the wrong things. We throw around the idea that our days are numbered, but we never actually pause to ask what life is too short for. You hear people talking about it at memorials, wishing they had spent more time, built deeper relationships, or just paid attention to what actually mattered. It is a wake-up call trying to shake you out of your sleep. We go through our days postponing our joy, tolerating daily pain, and completely deferring any real meaning. But you don't get a second draft in this world. There are no do-overs, and there are absolutely no backstage passes. You are the actor, the director, and the writer, and the play is happening right this very second. So let's break down the exact principles you need to maximize every single moment of your life. Chapter 1. Stop eating like a machine. Let's start with a really common everyday mistake you make. You treat your body like a cheap rental car at a gas station. You scarf down a soggy sandwich while sitting in traffic. Or you inhale a frozen TV dinner while standing up in the kitchen staring at your phone. You drink cheap, vinegary wine that belongs on the bottom shelf of a grocery store, and you treat your food like it's just basic fuel to keep your engine running. Here is the exact, easy action you need to take instead. Stop treating your food like fuel and start treating it like a celebration. Pour your drinks with love. Make your meals an actual ceremony. Think of your mind like a camera lens. When you rush and eat standing up, the lens is totally out of focus. The picture is blurry, and your brain doesn't even register that you ate. But when you slow down and savor your food, the lens snaps into sharp focus. Food shouldn't just be calories, it should be a memory. It is a portal to people, to places, and to total presence. Behaviorally, when you rush through a meal, your brain stays in a state of high-stress survival mode. By simply sitting down and eating slowly, you signal to your nervous system that you are completely safe. You shift from survival to actual living. So cook like you actually matter. Eat like you are truly alive, because life is way too short for bad food and bad wine. Chapter 2. The emotional vampires in your phone. Here is a massive mistake you are probably making right now. You let toxic people drain your energy, and you justify it because you think you have no choice. You put up with people who take way more than they give, people who constantly leave you second-guessing your own worth. Here is the fix. Build boundaries immediately. You have a very limited amount of energy. Start choosing exactly who gets the front row of your life. Think of your mental energy like your smartphone battery. You know those poorly designed apps that run in the background and secretly drain 40% of your power before noon? You wouldn't just leave them running. You would force quit them. Toxic relationships are those background apps. You might not be able to completely walk away from every single draining person in your life. After all, you don't always get to choose your coworkers or your relatives. But you absolutely can choose who gets your best energy and whose voices get to echo in your mind. From a psychological standpoint, emotional contagion is incredibly real. You literally catch the stress and negativity of the people around you like a cold. Your peace of mind is your most valuable software, and it is absolutely not up for negotiation. Invest your limited energy wisely in the people who actually lift you up and care about you, not the ones who just use you. Chapter 3. The Paycheck Prison. Let's talk about the biggest mistake you make between 9 and 5. You go to a job you dislike just to punch the clock, survive, and earn a paycheck. You wake up every single day dreading the daily grind, and you think the only solution is to wait for some magical crisis so you can angrily quit your job. Here is what you actually need to do. If you are stuck in a job just to survive, find dignity in it right now. If you absolutely cannot love your job, you have to love how you do it. Take real pride in your craft. Imagine you are hired to paint a massive fence, and you absolutely hate the color brown. If you focus on how ugly the color is, you will be utterly miserable all day long. But if you focus on making every single brushstroke smooth, perfect, and flawless, you suddenly find satisfaction in the skill itself. The exact same rule applies to unfulfilling work. Mentor someone. Learn a brand new skill. Take a broken process and beautify it. Psychologically, our brains heavily crave a sense of mastery and progress. When you focus on excellence, even in the most mundane tasks, You trigger dopamine in your brain. You don't have to follow your ultimate passion to find daily purpose. You can stretch, create, and contribute exactly where you are. And hey, if you can eventually leave, don't wait for a total panic or a crisis. Leave with actual purpose. Chapter 4. The Someday Trap. This is the silliest mistake of all. You keep pressing pause on your joy. You tell yourself, I'll do that after the kids grow up. I'll take that trip after I get promoted. I'll finally relax when things settle down. You are constantly waiting for the perfect moment. The fix is brutally simple. Stop postponing your joy for a future that might never arrive. Do the thing and do it right now. Book the trip, start the novel, take the dance class. Think about buying a gorgeous, expensive candle and never lighting it because you are waiting for a special occasion. It just sits on a shelf collecting dust until it loses its scent completely. Life gives you these fleeting, beautiful invitations, and you keep declining them. Behaviorally, humans are terrified of uncertainty and failure. We use waiting for the right time as a convenient, socially acceptable excuse to hide our fear. But life doesn't wait for perfect moments. Later is a total lie. Stop waiting for everything to be calm and perfectly aligned. Jump in, even if it is completely messy, and even if you think you don't have the time. Tomorrow is never guaranteed, but today is right here, fully available. Chapter 5. The people-pleasing pretzel. You are making a massive mistake by living your life as a mirror. You contort yourself like an Olympic gymnast just to reflect other people's expectations. You wear masks, mute your true opinions, and edit your personality just to keep the peace and make everyone else comfortable. Here is the exact action to take. Stop performing. Take the mask off. Be your unfiltered, unplugged self. Speak your truth, dress like you, love like you, and dream like you. Imagine trying to tailor a custom suit for a client whose body size changes every single hour. It is a completely impossible task. That is exactly what seeking external validation is like. Approval is a moving target. You hit the target today, and they will just shift it on you tomorrow. Evolution wired us to seek approval so we wouldn't get kicked out of the prehistoric tribe and left to fend for ourselves. But you weren't born just to perform for an audience. You were born to actually become who you are. Authenticity is forever. The world absolutely does not need another rehearsal or another copy. It needs your strange, beautiful, natural self. Don't worry about being the ideal colleague or the ideal partner in someone else's eyes. Just be you. Chapter 6. The heavy backpack of resentment here is a ridiculous mistake you make that ruins your mood every single day. You hold on to grudges. You carry around the burden of past hurts, fights, and injustices, constantly hoping that you will get even someday. You let anger heavily weigh you down. The fix is instant. Let it go. Forgive more freely. And remember, you aren't doing this to excuse what they did to you. You are doing it to completely liberate yourself. Holding a grudge is like walking around all day wearing a heavy backpack filled with rocks, just because someone threw a rock at you 5 years ago. You are exhausted carrying the weight, and half the time, the person who threw the rock isn't even thinking about you. They have completely forgotten. Anger is incredibly heavy, and resentment acts like a slow poison. You are letting it steal your sleep and poison your joy. When you forgive, you drop the backpack. Peace is not a sign of weakness. It is absolute freedom. You simply stop being chained to an event that is already completely over. Chapter 7. The knowledge flatline here is a totally invisible mistake you make without even realizing it. You assume that your education ends the very second you are handed a piece of paper or a degree. You stop exploring new ideas and just coast on what you already know. The fix is effortless. Never stop learning. Stay intensely curious. Think about your mind like a bank account. Continuous learning is exactly like compounding interest. If you just leave cash under a mattress, it loses value over time due to inflation. But if you invest just a tiny bit every single day, it quietly enriches your life and multiplies. Psychologically, learning new things creates fresh neural pathways in your brain, which literally keeps your mind agile and young. Read a new book, pick up a weird hobby, or listen to a completely fresh perspective. Life is way too short to let your brain flatline. Chapter 8. The comfort zone bubble here is a common trap that limits your entire existence. You stay in one place. You live your entire life within a ridiculously small, comfortable radius. You eat at the same places, talk to the same people, and never challenge your geographical or mental boundaries. Here is exactly what you need to do. Step outside your familiar circle and explore. Imagine being handed a massive epic novel, but you just read the very first page over and over again for 80 years. That is exactly what happens when you refuse to explore. The world is incredibly vast and endlessly varied, absolutely packed with flavors, stories, and landscapes you haven't even experienced yet. When you step out of your usual zip code, you force your brain to process new stimuli, which completely expands your mind and your soul. You don't have to climb a mountain today, but you have to go somewhere new. Life is too short to ignore your dreams, even the highly impractical ones, because leaving them unexplored only leads to regret. So, look at the big picture. Stop living your life while only half awake. Stop treating your time like an unlimited resource. Eat a little bit slower. Love a little bit better. Work much deeper. Begin your dreams sooner. Be truer to yourself. And forgive completely freely. Go out there and drink the good wine, leave the wrong people, and take massive pride in your craft. Because life is simply too short for anything less. And hey, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Also, let me know your thoughts on what I just shared.